All right, we are nearly done with the entire gambit of all of the different zodiac signs for this one. This is going to be for the sign of Libra, last but certainly not least, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant for the month of February 2026. This is going to be a love reading, so we're going to do some Cupid-y stuff for this last reading as well. And just talk about the general energies that are taking place. Unfortunately, I'm not the most romantic of people, so you're going to have to bear with me as I say things that normally will put my foot in my mouth anyways. That said, we're going to go through the order of the day. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. And feel free to leave comments below, and also monetary contributions in the PayPal link in the description box below. That said, yeah, for you, you've kind of got a similar feel. And one of the running themes that I'm finding for a lot of these readings is that many people are going through periods in which they're kind of disappointed with the options that they've got. So many of them are choosing to just remain single, to be free, or to, I think Gemini was the only one that got lucky, and they had a good reading. Everyone else has kind of got the same cards coming out. So it's giving me the impression that people are not really satisfied with the options that they have, experienced, or they're not necessarily in the mood to date. And some of them have even, chosen to focus on their monetary lifestyle, or like their finances, their material, desires, or their aspirations or goals or things like that. So with this is going to be kind of along a similar vein, but we're going to go through each of the cards and talk a little bit about what they mean and what you can expect for this month. So the overall message, it's going to be the 10 of Swords in the reverse and 4 of Cups. Sounds bad, but Libra, in your situation, your case, you have reached a point, accumulation of just overall not so positive feelings when it comes to the way you've had to interact with people in the dating scene, in matters of the heart. Perhaps there's an old past hurt that you've had to get over, which you were processing at this particular point. But I do see you taking a bit of control of the situation and trying to at least work through it, or at least keep in control of your life and your heart, so that way you're not strained any further by the types of people that you've had to interact with. Now, moving into the recent past, I do see that healing process taking place, because you do have Temperance, and this is kind of, how do you say, this is evidenced, or this is clarified by the 9 of Swords. So when you have this, you've had a lot of mental anguish that you've had to deal with, a lot of overthinking, analyzing certain situations that have taken place in your past love life. And what you're trying to do is to come to terms and get back to balance. And you're doing this by being patient with yourself, by analyzing what's taken place in the past, and discovering what it is that you really want or what you should avoid, and trying to narrow things down until they're best, the best options for you. Sagittarius is normally in this card, so you have the Archangel Gabriel here, if I'm not mistaken. Temperance is a Sagittarius card, and it's all about expanding the possibilities by experimenting with what you've already got. And so that can be a little bit tricky. So if you've been using Temperance to heal and you've had to process a lot of mental hurt and anguish, then in your case, I would say for you, you're giving it time, and you have been using that to kind of get back on the right foot with your love life. You have here, for what you're currently experiencing right now, you have the Judgment card, and of course there's nudes. I'm just going to get some non-nude like tarot cards, so that way YouTube doesn't take everything to offense and put me in safe spaces and shit like that. We have the High Priestess on its side. So when you have the Judgment and the High Priestess, what this is talking about, this is saying to you, your intuition is slowly starting to rise, allowing you to get to the point where you make a sound decision based on what it is that you see in your future. And it's kind of like a resurrection of your love life. Now, for you, it could be that you're trying to get your love life back off the ground and get back in there into the dating scene after processing all the pain and hurt that you've had to go through in the past. Fortunately, the dating scene has been waiting for you patiently, saying the streets are here. They are welcoming you back because this is what's going to take place in the near future. Based on the cards, you have the Ace of Swords, you have the Eight of Swords. The Ace of Swords is, of course, in the reverse, and then you have the Page of Cups in the reverse, which means that you may get to a point it's almost like you're going to be circling back around and experiencing all of the old wounds again, because what it feels like to me, you're just not going to want to speak to people. Your love life is not going to be very clear. You're going to interact with people who are going to be a little bit messy and emotionally unavailable, and this may actually force you to close your heart off to a lot of things that people are doing because you feel like they're stressing you out quite a bit. They're triggering a lot of the old wounds that you've had to experience in the past. And this may mean that you have to do additional shadow work, and you may have to go in and kind of process a lot of what's taken place. So the easiest way to look at this is that, say, for example, you've dealt with a person who was a very toxic individual. They were treating you basically like shit, and you had a very rough patch with them. You leave that relationship, you take some time off, and you say, okay, I'm going to go and heal and do all that happy, woo-woo stuff. And then now I feel like I'm ready to get back into the dating scene. And then you get back into the dating scene and you find that a lot of the people that you enter a relationship with, or that you date, or that you speak to, are on the same bullshit that the people from the past were. And this can be a bit triggering to you because you feel like, I was trying to avoid this. I thought I had gone in and raised my vibration and frequency. And here we are back into the same situation again. What this is, in actuality, this is the universe testing you to see if you've learned your lessons. And I've had to go through it myself. But additionally, for anyone else who's had to experience it, you find that you have to deal with these types of people to see if you're able to drop them faster, or to recognize the signs and signals that they're sending you that are causing you these triggers. And you're looking at the toxic qualities that they had that you can avoid in the future, so that way you don't repeat the same mistakes. If you're looking for a quality relationship, you're going to have to do quality control. And that's precisely what this is insinuating to me. It's telling me that you're going to look at people, you're not going to want to speak to them, you're not going to want to open your heart to them. You're going to just kind of take a step back and look at this situation in a more simple, to the point, in direct light. So when you have the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and you have the Four of Cups, and you have the Emperor right here, you're just kind of looking at the whole dating scene. You're saying, for the month of February, I think I'm just going to tend to my own garden, the old Voltaire quote. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that you're mourning the loss of your love life. And for you, with this funeral card here, what I tend to look at this as, it's not like you're attending a funeral and you're going to meet the love of your life there, but it means that rather instead, you're going to be looking at your love life and trying to understand what needs to die, what can no longer come with you into the next positive relationship that you have, if a positive relationship has ever taken place anyways. And I do see that, down the road, what you don't see coming is you have a King of Wands. This could be a person coming into your life, or this could be yourself and how you see yourself moving forward. You'll become more attractive. You'll be able to go out there and get the things that you want. You will be a very proactive individual in your love life. But for the time being, it's about sifting through all of the dross that has been placed over your love life and trying to separate that from what is of substance. And once you can do that, you can then come back into the dating scene and you'll be able to make decisions a lot more quickly. Oh, that person's a sorry, I shouldn't say that word. That slipped out. Sorry for the YouTube overlords. That person is not a very nice person. This person is a very good individual. This is a great choice. This person I should leave alone. And that said, you can then finally make more sound decisions in your dating life. And so, with that said, we have the emergence of protection for your main oracle message. This is your Guides of the Hidden Realms oracle message. And what it talks about are boundaries, self-preservation, and trusting in divine protection. You even had at the bottom of the deck a similar card, which is about focus on the brilliance, which has a similar message about focused attention, prioritizing, and persevering. So with that said, you're no longer making full-hearted decisions and just going with the flow. So many people in the dating scene, oh, I just want to go with the flow. It's all right. I'm just a free spirit. A lot of the free spirits are the ones that end up like 42 years old and complaining, where are all the good men? Or like the men who are doing it, they're just like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to go build a house and live off grid stuff because this, this is not working out. Try not to be a free spirit. Try to actually be more in this emperor energy, which you can actually say, I have kind of a plan for my life. Sorry. You can actually say to yourself, I'm no longer just going to go with the flow, because then people can redirect my current to a direction that I may not want to go with. Instead, you want to actually look into this and say, which direction do I want to go to next? How do I want to plan my love life? What kind of things do I want? Can I get clear on these things? Because when you have the Emperor doesn't mess about. And typically, with this is about a person who knows what they want and they have stability and they are able to see these things with foresight. You have 2 4s here, which is what you're probably needing anyway. 4 of Cups, meaning that you're shutting down a lot of the different options that are coming in your way. And you're only accepting the best. And then you have the 4, which is the Major Arcana. Once you get into that Minor Arcana 4, that's going to take you to the Major Arcana 4, which is going to give you the big stability that you need in your life. Once you put the boundaries in place and you can actually vet the people that you're dating properly, then that's when you can take it over to the next phase, which you have another fire sign here, which is going to be your energy stepping into it. What is the likelihood that this is going to pay off in the future? We can have a look. There's a likelihood this will pay off in the future. There you go. So if you stay on that current path, what you'll get is this. You're going to finally go from the 4 of Cups to the King of Cups. This is going to allow you to be a lot more emotionally stable, grounded, understanding, empathetic, and caring for you, and not simply for other people, not giving away your boundaries. And look, at the bottom of the deck, you have the Knight of Cups, which is where now it's like, instead of just aimlessly wandering around, you could say this is your cup, for example. You're walking around with, behold, I am the Knight of Cups, and you just, here, would you like to have a sip? No, would you like to have a sip? Would you like to have a sip? Instead of doing that, and then you take a sip, and then you end up with like mononucleosis or worse, you can actually give that cup to someone who fully deserves it. And that is what you need to kind of focus on. Rather than going on with the flow, give your cup to someone that matters. And that's pretty much your message for today. I'm going to keep it short and keep it there. Anyways, this has been Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for listening. This has been for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you very much for your time and attention for listening to this message. And until next time, love and light. Take care.